Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game? Featuring the Sims board game. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you an overview of how the game is played and then share a few things I might like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add the Sims board game to your collection. Here we have the Sims board game. So this game obviously is inspired by The Sims, and so we start with our house card. Now there are a whole pile of house cards to pick from, and they're all types of houses you would find in The Sims. And the thing is, each one has a different symbol, which is what is important. We start with 2 aspiration cards, and what we want to do is collect 3 of the symbols that are on the card. So because we have this symbol here, we might start with this aspiration card because we already have 1 symbol. The other one would just go to a discard. Down here are some action cards that we're trying to collect because of the symbols on the cards, because that's what's going to help us fill our aspiration cards. So for example, I might be looking at this one because it has both symbols on my card. So on my turn, if I was to travel out, I would look here and I want one of these symbols. So if I look here and say, ooh, this little toilet one here has that symbol I want. I could put my token here, and then we would decrease that needs down there. So I cannot go back here until my needs goes back up. Because I'm there, I could choose a card with any of these symbols. I already know I want this card because it has both symbols. Now, there's a reset bottom action. Discard the bottom row of cards in the card hub and replace them. So that would mean I would take these cards, put them on a discard, and replace them. Now the other thing we want to do is look at the symbols we have and if they match any of our iconic Sims. Now in this case they do not match, but if they did, I'd be able to add an iconic Sims to my board. Our goal is to get 3 points. Each aspiration we do gets us 3 points, and each iconic Sim is worth 1 point. But you can only score when it is your turn and at the end of your turn. And so now we're sort of at the scoring phase of that. And we notice we have 1, 2, 3 symbols. So this aspiration is complete. I can put it underneath and then get another aspiration. And that would be my turn. So my new card wants books and potions, and there are a few action cards that have them. And so I would have to go here to the university as my next, and I would lower that part of my needs tracker. And then I have to decide which one I want. Do I want the suitcase and the potion, or do I want the books and the suitcase? Now down here, neither of my iconic Sims have the symbols, so it wouldn't really affect that. They both have reset top, so again, it doesn't fully affect it. So maybe I will take the potion one. You put it here. It's reset top, so all these would go away. New cards would come out. And I look, I do not have 3 of the symbols yet, so that would just be the end of my turn. So maybe on the next turn, I want to go home. I would take my token and I would move it back home. When you go home, you get to raise 2 of your needs trackers back up to green. And that allows you, when you go out, to go to the same spaces you went to previously. The other thing you get to do is draw an aspiration card, and then you can look and you can pick between these 2 which one you want to keep. Now, when I look over here, this is what we're comparing. I don't have any light bulbs, books, and so maybe I want to look down here at what's available. if I do the light bulb, there's a couple cards and there's an iconic sim. So I think maybe what I would do is trade this out and then move this away. And then I'd have this new one to work on as we're trying to gain to 8 points. I'm still trying to get more of my aspirations and sims completed. So I'm going to do one more action. So we are going to go out. And I know I want to get this light bulb. And this card allows me to travel again, which allows me to take an additional turn. So I'm going to go to the light bulb. I have to lower my needs tracker. And I'm going to get this card. So now I get to travel again. And I want this card, but there are some different symbols. So I could go over here to the sleeping symbol, lower it, and then get this card. And that would reset the bottom. However, because I have the light bulb I just picked up, I can add this guy to my area. And then I have completed this card because I have 2 light bulbs and 1 potion. So I can put it underneath and add a new aspiration. Now, I just want to say that I do have oh no, I do not. I thought I did. It's 1 potion that, so I'm close. But if I did have the right things, I cannot do this aspiration instantly. I'd have to wait for my next turn. So I'm currently up to 7 points, but I need 8 to win. Now there is the other card. There's some action cards. Again, I think we had one earlier where it says iconic sims move. So if somebody takes this card, what that means is you would have to take all the iconic sims you have, you would hand them to the next player, and if they had a light bulb, they could keep the sim. So even though I currently have 7 points, there's a good chance on the next round of that, I may lose my iconic sim and lose that point. And that's why you can only score at the end of your turn. If you have 8 points during somebody else's turn, you cannot declare yourself a winner. You have to wait until it's the end of your turn and have 8 points. But that is basically how the game is played. The only other thing to mention is 2 people can go at the same time, but then you roll a die. And so if you roll a negative, you have to lower one of your needs trackers. If you roll a positive, you get to increase one of your needs trackers. And then if you roll the hand, I have to just look it up because I forget. You learn something new and you take 1 random action card from the other player. So that is, you get to take an action card from the other player. So you can go together, you just have to roll the die and you might get a positive or a negative effect when you do so. So overall, as you can see, this can be a fairly quick game. They say if you want to make a longer game, instead of doing 8 points, you can do 10 points, basically getting an additional aspiration completed. They've used a lot of the iconic sims and locations from the games and the houses. So there's a lot of imagery that they've been able to use from the game, and the idea of your needs tracker being up and down too. So I think this game is good for somebody who really enjoyed playing The Sims and just likes the idea of a board game version. It's a very easy sort of introductory game. If you play a lot of games, then you may find the game a little too easy. Gemma really likes The Sims and liked all the ways it was tied into the game, whereas I'm not a big Sims player. And so for me, I just found the game to be a little easy. But I still want to give it a try to see how they incorporated the two together. So it just basically comes down to whether or not you are a fan of The Sims and you want the idea of having a board game. So let me know if you've played The Sims board game and what you think of it.